Everybody, fWhip here, and welcome back to the hardcore world for our first ever Elytra flight with rockets. I'm so very excited for this one. I haven't even used the Elytra in the overworld yet, and we are flying away, folks. This one is absolutely awesome. Last episode, we fought the Ender Dragon with Joel and using the first rocket right here. Look at that, flying high in the sky and falling right back down to the leg. Yes, this is going to be great on a server. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I am so very excited for today. Today's episode, my friends, is going to be intense because we're going camping. If y'all are excited for today's episode, be sure to click that like button down below for me. But first and foremost over here, we need to get a little bit of wool for ourselves to be able to make these camping tents. I want to move out a little bit away from our current home and do some more fun stuff. Today's going to be about doing some fun building. Not everything that you do inside of your survival world always has to be about your base. Doesn't always have to be building the next farm, building the next thing to make yourself stronger. Sometimes you can just have fun playing the game. And that's what I want to do today. I feel like I've been pushing really hard to make sure I don't die, make sure I do all these crazy things, get my Elytra, get all that stuff, and just checking the boxes. And you know what? Today, we're not doing that. But first and foremost, I definitely need a lot more cyan wool than 7, so I'm going to sit here for a little while. These cows really want to get over to the sheep side of the pasture. Greener pastures indeed. Wow, that saying really rings true here. As we're waiting for the sheep to regrow their wool, I thought it'd be kind of cool to bring some smooth quartz blocks with us and a stone cutter, because as we don't have wool slabs in the game, I figured those could be a good alternative for now. All right, there we go. That should hopefully be enough. We'll leave the cyan sheep out here in the field. They can just hang out. And my plan for today's episode, as I mentioned, is I want to go create a little bit of a campground. We have the ability to leave our base, and what I like to do in Minecraft is I like to build worlds. I don't like to build a base, I like to build a Minecraft world. So in order for me to do that, I feel like sometimes I need to stretch my wings, haha, Elytra joke, and we just gotta head across the river, and I don't really know anything down this direction. I haven't particularly explored this way, but I'm just looking out for something that could be fun to call a new temporary base. The idea I want to go with on this one is we're going to bring a road in all the way down here as we're going to be moving throughout it. I'm thinking just some simple path blocks, and this might be a little bit harder with the river right there. Now that I'm thinking about it, we're kind of over the hill right there is where our base is through those trees, and we don't need to go all that far. Thankfully in the Mega Taiga Forest, this thing is, it's a little dense. It's a little dense, sometimes like my head, it's a little dense. And what we can do down here is we can fill in this small pond area and turn it into a cool little bit of a campground and still keep some of the water around it. The goal for today, my friends, is we are going to be trying to create a, that's not an ender chest. The goal for the day is we're going to be trying to create a knight's camp. I want to make it look like we have a knight that's traveling around the world, maybe to an arena or something like that, or the next competition, whatever knights do. I don't know. I've never met one. And the goal here is to create this little campsite that'd be something that the knight could live in, survive in, and do all that cool stuff. I really like the idea of the pathway coming down here, the knight being off to the side, and then the pathway continuing off into the distance of wherever it's going to go. In this point, it's going to go right into a river, but that's okay. So we've got this area down here, and I'm thinking we maybe can clear out this tree and that tree, and we should have enough space for this campground. Now, I don't tend to do very much building on camera, so bear with me on this one, and hopefully it works out here. I thought today would be kind of fun to just slow things down, you know, just slow it down and have some fun with it. I think we might be removing that tree and maybe bumping it back there. I want to make a tent that's going to be about this long right here, and then we're going to bring it over. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can bring it over to here. Now, this right here is the idea I was thinking of for the shape of the tent as far as the width of it and everything like that. Then coming up here, we can start bringing in some of our stairs, and that's going to bring ourselves up here, and we're going to do another stair right like this and bring ourselves up yet again, and then we come back into here, and we're going to do this, and this is going to meet us into the center. Copying ourselves on the other side, we get both sides right up here, and I thought a cool little extendy bit at the top that'd be kind of interesting is we could do something like this with the trapdoor and the full block and the stair, and it makes it feel like it's just kind of jutting out there so we don't get that straight line. I don't know why, but I really like this detail on tents. Feels like we have our main spike throughout here, then we have another supporting one that's like bringing a line in like that or something. I don't really know, but it looks cool, so we're gonna do it. That's part of the building in Minecraft. If it looks cool, go for it. Speaking of things to go for, adding more trapdoors off to the side here, and then I've got to get this basically the same idea that we have here, going to copy it 1 and 2 more times. Being able to run around the world and craft simple things like this, they're just kind of fun to look at, and you stumble across them, you're like, oh wait, when did I build that? Oh, right. Yeah, we were just looking for an idea to do one day, and I came across this cool design for a tent, and look at where it brought us. It gave this cool little build out here that's going to be here forever. And that's something that I absolutely love doing inside of Minecraft Worlds. I do a lot of random builds that you guys probably never see. Unfortunately, our tent here isn't done yet, and it's nighttime, so we're going to be sleeping under the stars one more time before we can get the nice tent over there. Forgot some lanterns and ways we can light this area up, and seeing this through the trees here looks so cool. Also, just flying above everything is very cool to get back to that sort of modes of transportation inside of this world. Man, this is going to be great. But I'm thinking we could do some trapdoors along this line right here to help it feel more reinforced on the top. So we really feel like we got these wooden supports for ourselves. Then I added a bunch of trapdoors on the outsides as well. And I was thinking we got these dark oak buttons here for ourselves. And these could look really cool as kind of like smaller beams that are stretching along this way. So you can imagine like this dark oak is like a spoke stretching all the way throughout here. Then we'll tap it out on this side. And I was thinking it'd be kind of fun to bring this up right here. And then we do campfire, campfire, and campfire, extinguishing all of these. And that's kind of like a beam right here that's helping us support it as well. Coming to the inside, so we actually have some light on here, is we can bring these down. And then we got some lanterns, and then we got chain, and another lantern. That should keep it very, very bright in here. Some minor details around here as well to help reinforce it even more. And I feel like we don't have a whole lot of space in here. So what I was thinking is we could bring this all down one. But right over here, let's go and keep that up. So we have like our entrance onto this side, which I was thinking we could start using a lot of jungle planks for ourselves and just kind of do these guys in here. Do we have any coarse dirt? We do. Look at that. Then unfortunately having to deal with all of the water down here, I think I'm going to go ahead and just put a full jungle plank floor on it. That should be pretty good. We'll clean this backline up here later, but for now, what I think we could do is bringing in some of our jungle trap doors as a way to create this back wall for ourselves so we can still kind of see through it. So it's almost like a big window, almost like a false wall in here, but that'll stop the mobs from coming in. So we only have to worry about them entering the campsite from this side. Then bring in a few of our jungle slabs. We can do something like that. Then we can walk up and down, and it's looking pretty snazzy. And this section down here, we've got to do something with. I think what might work is if we just bring in some stripped spruce logs straight across the side, right like this. Oh my gosh, yes, I love this. I love this so much. This is looking fantastic down here. What we can do along this back wall is we don't have to deal with all that dirt stuff. Something like that can actually work out pretty well for us. And then do I have a bed? Well, I have this bed. We can leave this bed here. Maybe we have a little bit of a bed right in there. We've got the lights up here. So this can be a place where if we're running through the area and it's late, it's dark, we see the light, we can run over here and we know that we can sleep. Now, as a few additional bits of decoration, I realized I crafted up some armor stands for, I have no idea why, but we've got that on us here. So I'm thinking we could do an armor stand in there. And then we have these guys right in here. I was thinking it'd be kind of fun to do like a table here in the center like this. And then maybe this could be like a map of the area or something like that. Don't really have a map on me, but then we got some sea pickles over here. That could be kind of cool as a little bit of like extra light or something on the table for late at night, because we don't really have the candles yet, but we're working towards those. And piston, let's go with the piston. We got a furnace down here so they can warm themselves, and we can do like a double piston right there as a little bit of a table as well. I think that looks like a stone cabinet of sorts, then the table on top. Obviously, as this dude is a knight, he probably has a squire. So that leads us to the next element, which for me is going to involve a lot of the smooth quartz stairs. I think I'm going to make 12 of them, and we're going to make a lot of the smooth quartz slabs. My plan for this is we have the squire right over here. He probably doesn't have this big old nice fancy tent that this dude has, the knight himself, but we do have a few spruce fences for ourselves, which we can bring in something right like in here, and we can do something right like in there. And then right up at this point, we can start making this weird slope, I guess. So let's go ahead and tie this off right there. And I want to have it kind of sag down quite a bit, which is why I made a lot of these stairs, so we can really sag this stuff down, and then we can have it kind of stepping forwards like that. And then it goes back up where that post is there, so it feels a lot more natural. And then I think we can, let's go ahead and raise this one back up too. And definitely made way too many of these blocks, but it is a-okay here. And that gives us something like this. Just a small little area where the dude can hang out in. Maybe we give him a chair and a table or something like that. So where's that dark oak I had? Perfect. I present the squire's table, the squire's chair, the squire's bin, and the squire's box. Running back over the base, I realized I had my original set of iron armor, so I believe that's what we're going to be equipping to the knight. You know what? While we're over here, do I have my original pick too? We do. 9 durability. This campsite is going to be the home of our original stuff. I'm definitely somebody who gets very nostalgic about things like this, like the original OG things in a Minecraft world or any game. I am the worst person about clearing out inventory space for anything, maybe besides Jimmy, but he's no longer here, so it's back to me being the worst. So we've got all that stuff, and we got our shiny pickaxe there in the center. We got the iron, the diamond, and it's looking fantastic over here. I added in a few warp trapdoors just because I had some of them to get more of that color highlight through here, and I think I love it. I love the little bits of it all around this place. I'll say this campsite here was actually intended to be mostly a way for me to get rid of some resources because my storage room is too full and I needed to build things. Ooh, I forgot some trapdoors. But I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, because I had to chop a few trees down and things like that to clear the space here, I actually have more stuff than I had originally, and I don't know how I feel about that. But the tent is done. We got to get our pathway in here next. And first and foremost, what I've started working on so far, kind of off camera, is setting up a few shulker boxes. As you all saw, these ones, we got a wood one, we've got a random decoration one, and then I've got my tool one, and we've got this new shovel here that does not have silk touch on it. So if we're getting the podzol, that's just going to give us straight dirt back, which is going to be so much better because I want to make this pathway out of grass path. Wow, this is really short. Feels way farther away. Oh my gosh, all we have to do is right there to up here. You know what? I was going to be like, we're going to do a time lapse. That'd be like a 5-second time lapse. Let me go ahead and get this thing in. We're just going to, like right here, straight back. It's going to get us to our campsite. That is amazing. Wow. Coming down this pathway and seeing the campsite is absolutely awesome, but it's got me inspired, folks. It has got me inspired for sure to keep doing some work, and I believe this is the box we need right here of I want to take these little cliff faces that we have. So we have this coming down and that one right there. I want to turn it into a rocky structure similar to how we have these things around here. I really want to play off of that more often inside of this biome that we're building here. The pathway just kind of disappears off into the distance out there around a few trees and keeps going on a little bit further, about the same distance that we come up here to get back to there. Because we can see our base, we can't really see the campsite. You can barely see it as soon as you come around this corner. That's when you can start to see it, which I love. But also today, we're going to get the bridge in here. I really have a good idea in mind for the bridge, but first and foremost, let me get some terraforming done. I decided to turn replay mod here, and I'm really happy that I did that. So we got the rock structures coming in on the right side there, and then the left side here as well. I want to use a bunch of the cobblestone just because I have a lot of it, then bringing in the coarse dirt as well onto the top here. It looks really cool down there, just making that little bit more structure to the area. Finally, I was going a little bit more crazy, as I do, and built 2 more custom trees. So we got the first one coming in right here. We're getting to the bridge right after this build, which I'm super excited for, but here's 2 trees in this area. Looks fantastic now. One final look through this lower area that we just finished up. You can see I added a bunch of berry bushes, some beetroot up there to get some cool colors in the foliage, lots of sugar cane around actually, and some birch leaves, and it looks so fantastic down here. I absolutely love it. As one of my friends would say, wowee, it looks great. So we've got that back here, and I think it's looking awesome, but we're moving on up to the bridge now. We've got a lot more stuff to tackle today. We got the bridge, and then we got to go find a puppy dog in this world. But that, my friends, leads us to the bridge right over here. I decided to bring ourselves down a bit on this side. Then I think we can take some spruce logs with ourselves, and what I'm leaning towards right now is just going to be some beams of stripped spruce log going all the way across on both sides. There's not going to be an easy way to get a perfect center to this because the lines are so long, so what I was leaning towards is we're just going to pick the middle of the river as the center, and then they'll just extend the beams out to the sides as it would have been needed to. So if we go to the center of the river and we count over here, we got this, then we're going to 1, 2, and 3, and then right onto this edge right here, we can do this guy. And that was exactly 1 stack of spruce logs. Wow, interesting. I love when stuff like that happens in Minecraft, when you have the perfect number of blocks to finish something. Just so cool looking. So what I was thinking was we could come down 1 and 2 and then right in here. So 2 blocks down, I want to bring in some more, not a poppy bush, some more spruce logs along here to, I cannot word, but to reinforce it a little bit more. That seems like a good way to go. Originally, I was thinking a stone bridge could look really cool here, but because we haven't used stone anywhere else in this entire world, I feel like that instantly makes it out of place. So I decided to go against that one, but we can bring in some oak trapdoors right there on the sides and then bringing in some of these lovely blocks. Being our stairs, we can actually round this out quite a bit and we get these cool little patterns right in there. Then I was thinking on top of that, we've got a bunch of spruce trapdoors available to ourselves here, and if we did that right in there, we do another one right here, and that allows us to create a little bit of band action going around this thing to again reinforce it and breaking up the straight lines. This adds a tiny bit of depth. just like 2 or 3 pixels worth. Well, 3 pixels worth, and it just looks so fantastic. Now I had the idea in the center bit here is to bring in some double spruce slabs that are half slab up, so that's still mob proof for ourselves, and it gives kind of a cool feel around here that they're just beaming together these different sections of it. Otherwise, there's no way to connect them besides the top. So I figure we got to bring something in here at least. Now, again, with more of the spruce slabs, I figured this would be a pretty easy way to get ourselves across, and keeping it in that mob-proof fashion is just to do spruce slabs across this entire way here. The idea is that you'd kind of walk up off of the bridge, so the land's going to sink down a bit, then you get on the bridge, then you walk right back up off of it. Off that side is just going to be a little flatter. Maybe we bump it up a half slab or so. We got to still build the road over there, but for now, this is fine for me. Now, I've been wanting to find an excuse to create some sort of a trellis structure here, and I figured actually having that being the way that we get lanterns on this bridge could be kind of cool. So I was thinking we could bring ourselves with some of these spruce trapdoors and some fences all the way up here. How does that look for ourselves? That's actually not too high. That's actually pretty good. We're going to get some more railings on the sides here, but we can just add some simple lanterns on top of them like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. As getting some contrast in this build is pretty important, I figured we could bring in some dark oak fences. That might be a little bit better than anything else that we could do. And finally, we get into the extra details phase, where we can mix this up even more, have a lot of fun with it, and just make this feel a lot more alive. I was thinking originally we could do some trapdoors on top of these to help create that railing, so we do the spruce trapdoors on top of those. So I'm going to craft some up right now. I'm not totally set on the idea, but I think it's going to be something that'll be worthwhile to try. How do we feel about this? I don't mind that right there in that section, but then it comes back down here and that feels a little weird. So we might need to extend the solid blocks up another one for the fence to work. Then also, instead of the buttons on this outside, what if we just did some dark, that's not right. What if we just did some dark oak slabs there instead? That looks a lot better at that section, but then we got to do the rest of it. You know what? I actually don't hate that. I think that's all right. Let's go ahead and try this. Wow, the bridge is really starting to look pretty formidable now as we are in the water. Hopefully we won't have to be doing that in the near future and flying like an elytra. Okay, coming over here, I was thinking we could take this section here as it's a little flat in the middle. I don't like how the logs are flat and then we got the slabs there and that's just flat all the way across. It's a little boring. That helps a lot from the outside, but the inside is still feeling a little rough in my opinion. So if we jump ourselves up here, I think we could actually do something like that. And the bridge is starting to look really cool now, and I'm liking it a lot. But I was thinking one extra thing we could add in would be some chains. Right now it feels very brown, and I want to break up the colors a little bit here because all we have is brown, dark brown being the dark oak, and then we have a little bit of the splash with the lanterns up there at the top. But I feel like chains just going across right there could actually be really cool. Well, I got to messing with things a little bit further, and I found something here that I actually really like. We can bring along the top of this one, we can come up here and jump up on these trapdoors real fast, and I changed all of these where it was previously a trapdoor. I changed that out to a slab. And one thing I've been loving doing recently is sticking trapdoors out of things, just having it extend out a little bit further. And I think that's a really cool detail that we have. It extends it out of the box that we had. So previously we had a square here the entire time. The chains that we added in here look pretty amazing as well. I like those a lot, and I was thinking maybe we could come back here. It's just a few small ones, but we could add the remaining chains that I had on me just right over in here. And voila, we have a bridge. I love it. This is amazing. Adding in a few final details over here, I've added the roadway in, finished up the bridge completely, and started some fences along here so we can actually take the road off this direction as well. And now that I'm looking at it, it's a little skinny down here, so let's go and expand it right like that. That should be pretty good. And then maybe we'll do this one right here too, and for, you know what, why not? Why not? We'll just do that. It's okay. It's all fine. Then coming up here, we've got a few little bits and bobs that we can add in over here just to help detail out that cliff face a little bit better so it's not quite the awkward shape that it is right now, and doing something right like in there. And I love this bridge. It's so nice to walk across. It's so cool to see. And I was looking through my chests, and I don't remember which shulker box I put them in. One of these shulker boxes somewhere. And I only have 3 bones, folks, for finding this certain type of dog that I want to get. In the texture pack that we're using in this world, if you're using Optifine, there's a very, very small chance, like a 5% chance or something smaller than that, I believe, to find a wolf with the same skin as my dog, IRL, Coda. and I don't want to risk that, finding him and then not having the bones be able to do it. So we're going to wait for that one until the next episode. That's all I got time for in today's episode, folks. Click that like button down below if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are brand new, and my friends, I will catch you on the flip side.